thought to have gone extinct in 1950. The last documented occurrence of the species was along the Virgin River in southern Utah in 1950, and then was rediscovered in 1991. And soon after that, the Southern Nevada Water Authority got involved with the National Park Service to evaluate its taxonomy using some genetic techniques to confirm that the new populations that were found were in fact Relict leopard frog.
It's quite a find considering the Relict leopard frog is one of North America's rarest amphibians, and it inhabits such a challenging environment.
In the Southwest, in the Mojave Desert, amphibians are pretty hard to come by, and when an animal like this is rediscovered, it's actually pretty exciting.
But it's still a species of great concern because the frog's range has shrunk to a few springs around Lake Mead and throughout Black Canyon below Hoover Dam. And even since the rediscovery, 2 of the remaining populations have suddenly disappeared.
And so that suggests that there is some sensitivity in these populations, that maybe some of them are not big enough to sustain themselves over long periods of time. And so that's a concern of the conservation team now, is to watch very closely the existing populations. There's between 5 and 6 natural populations currently, and working through a Head Start program to raise up tadpoles and put them back into these natural environments to help make those populations more robust.
In order to keep it from being listed as a threatened or endangered species, the conservation partners also want members of the public to watch the progress of the frog. So they're raising awareness through all kinds of education programs, including a new exhibit at the preserve that will be unveiled this fall.
For us, this is really a new area as far as living collection exhibits, because this is going to be our first aquatic or semi-aquatic species that we've got on display. So, pretty much all the other animals, it's purely just strict desert environment. So we've just got a terrarium set up, but now we're dealing with that water element as well for these amphibians.
And it's only the first phase of a project that could introduce additional frogs into a more natural setting out on the preserve property.
And there are plans to develop a pond and stream system outside that would actually provide a real habitat for frogs. And that would actually help with 2 things. It would be an additional population as a conservation population, and would also, again, provide this community and outreach education component that would educate the public about the habitats that they use and their place and part of the natural history of southern Nevada and southern Utah. I think the real challenge will be, once we get the exhibit and the habitat constructed, will be to test and see if we can actually maintain populations in those settings. I think the current challenge is really to try and make those settings as inviting as possible for these frogs,
while giving visitors insight into a frog crisis that's global as well as local.
Worldwide, there's amphibian decline due to numerous reasons, but also they're really good bioindicators, meaning that biologists can really determine the health of an ecosystem based off of the populations of different species of amphibians.
And the exhibit will offer a life-changing experience for this truly resilient species, as well as the people who come to the preserve and discover this little frog that was almost lost, but now is found.
I think amphibians in themselves in the desert are charismatic because they're in a place that's very challenging for them to live. And I think it's one of those stories that might excite young scientists to pursue a career in natural resources, because there are discoveries yet to be made.